Welcome back, everyone. Again, my name is Omar, the creator of blackastrology.com. So today's video is about my top 5 astrology books to get you started from beginner to sort of an advanced level of astrology. The first book I'll start with is Astrology, Using the Wisdom of the Stars in Your Everyday Life by Carol Taylor. This is a great beginner book as it has nice visuals, it's easy to read, it covers a large range of basic topics from just learning the planets, just learning the signs, the houses. It also covers a lot of interesting topics that most beginner astrologers want to learn, such as astrology basics, your astrological chart, life events like relationships, marriage, what career you should choose. This book is excellent for really getting your feet wet with astrology. Overall, it's a great book for your casual astrologer as it covers all of these topics on a very surface level, I will say, but it helps you to understand, a broad range of astrological concepts that are important for your development. The second book I want to touch on is called Astrology, A Guide to Understanding Your Birth Chart by Yasmin Boland. This is another great beginner book. It covers all the good places to start with astrology, and it gives you a bit of more in-depth reading. It's not as broad as the first book, but it does dig deeper into a fewer topics, right? It still covers all the basics and things that you're interested in, such as, your life events, relationships, which friends are you more likely to get along with, but it covers these in a deeper sense. There's a lot more reading. It's a denser read than the first book, but it really starts to cover all the things that you would be interested in as a beginner astrologer. I also like the fact this book is more interactive than the first. There are quizzes that you can see are in this book that allows you to really take time to understand your own chart and help to drive some of those ways you can memorize, your different house placements, your different planet placements, and so on and so forth. So this is another great book to get started with. You can use these interchangeably with one or two. So that brings me to my third book, which is a personal favorite of mine. Keep in mind that none of these books are in order of, least favorite to more favorite. They're more so in order of where to start when you start your astrology journey and where you can go when you reach more advanced topics. So my third book is Astrology, A Cosmic Science by Isabel M. Hickey. This is definitely a classic work for astrologers. And in my opinion, this is when astrology becomes more of a study as opposed to a hobby. The books that I'm mentioning here on out will be a lot more in-depth, a lot more dense with reading, and fewer visuals, of course, because it assumes that you understand a lot of the basic concepts. So you'll have more reading to do, you'll have a more descriptive language that will tell you more about the signs, the planets, the houses, and so on. It's also worth doing some digging and research into this author, Isabel M. Hickey, as she's a world-renowned astrologer and really is one of the pioneers, if you will, of modern astrology. And this book is also my go-to reference for whenever I'm looking at a specific aspect in my chart, whether I want to understand something on a mundane level versus a spiritual level, if you will. This book really helps me to understand some of the hidden meanings in my chart and helps me to really dig into myself and understanding, things about my own nature as well. So this is a great book to have, and it's a great reference tool for, your journey through astrology. My fourth book will be The House Connection, and this is by Karen Heimerker-Zondag. I hope I pronounced that right. This is really a good book when you want to understand the meanings behind the houses and understand how certain planets and and aspects in your chart affect your life through the houses. We can touch on that a bit more about how the houses really have an effect on your chart, But this is an excellent reference and resource for understanding the energy within your houses. It really helps to give you a deeper understanding of what happens in the houses and helps to expand your understanding of how certain energies manifest in your life. So this is another great resource. It's a little harder to read, it's more dense, and it's just like a single topic book. It's just about the houses, and very few references to how beginners may look at certain planets and so forth. So this is more on the other end of your astrology journey in terms of advanced studies. The fifth book I have, and which is probably by far one of the most advanced books that I have in my collection, is A to Z, Horoscope Maker and Interpreter by Llewellyn George. Now, this book is like reading a college textbook. It really goes into depth about almost every topic of astrology you can really consider. It describes itself as a comprehensive study course of astrology. Now you think about that, it's really about going deeper into many levels of your chart, understanding yourself and building on your knowledge of all the basics that we've discussed so far and the books that we've discussed. And it really expands on all levels of astrology that you can possibly consider. One thing I will say about A to Z is that it can be very math intensive at times. The purpose of this is because it allows you to understand the minute details of your chart by degree. And this helps you to make better predictions if that's what you're interested in. It helps you to make clearer understandings and draw better lines between you and the planets. And I'm willing to bet by the end of reading this book, you'll be able to memorize your chart to the degree of each planet and each house and aspect. That's how intensive this book can be. It really challenges you to understand how different degrees in your chart will change a specific outcome or a specific consideration of your chart. Overall, depending on where you are in your astrology journey, any one of these books can be a great resource and a great guide to expanding your knowledge. And depending on if you're on the beginner side, you may want to start with some of the books I mentioned earlier. If you're more advanced or really want to take your astrology knowledge to the next level, you want to get a book like A to Z by Llewellyn George or Cosmic Science by Isabel M. Hickey. These books are really great for taking your journey to the next level. So I've provided a link to all of these books I've referenced today in the description. So if you feel like you want to, take a look and see if something you're interested in purchasing, go right ahead. I have that there for you. Enjoy and really use it to further your journey into astrology. I hope you like this video. Like the video or subscribe to the channel. I'm coming out with many more videos for you, and I would love for you to go along this astrology journey with me.